Denny, and good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone, and welcome to Denny in Virginia. I'm your host, Denny, here in Virginia. Where in Virginia, you might ask? Why, I'm here at Portsmouth, Virginia, and I am actually going to talk about yet another episode of VA All the Way. So on today's episode, we're going to be talking about going to museums. Museums are a very, very valid and good option. Oh God, that is a wasp or a bee. That is, okay, maybe not today, We're safe now. Okay, so besides bugs, museums are a very, very valid option of something to do when there's nothing to do in the great state of VA. There's always a museum somewhere around you. Maybe perhaps it's not in your specific city. Like for me, I live in Chesapeake. We don't have museums like that. I'm going to be honest with you guys. We are slack-a-lagging when it comes to museums. So I'm in Portsmouth right now because they have a few. And this one, I love me a free museum. Chesapeake, we have one that's paid, but that's the only one that I know of, to be honest. This one is actually free in Portsmouth. The one that I'm at right now is the Portsmouth Colored Community Library Museum. And I've already been in, but I thought this would be a good example of something to do when you think there's nothing to do in the great state of VA. So I wanted to film for a little bit. I'll give you guys the actual look of the museum itself. Again, this one in particular is in Portsmouth, Virginia. This is the Portsmouth Colored Community Library Museum. It is not an active library. It is just a museum. It was the original library, but now it is just a museum dedicated to the findings of the library. So it is quite cool. It is a very small museum, but I'm very thankful that we have it here in Portsmouth and that it's easily accessible. And because it's so small, it's actually really good for you to like just spend a decent amount of time in there, just kind of like actually taking the time to read stuff if you have like the amount of time available. The hours are a little wonky. It's not like it's 7 days a week or anything like that, but it's definitely doable. I think today is Saturday. They close at 4 p.m. But I went in there and it was really cute. It was very small and it was just nice to see like Portsmouth history stuff, because I'm not a history buff. I don't really enjoy history typically, but I do like going to museums. So I do need to be better about being like, just stop saying that I hate history, because I don't hate history. It's just I associate it with school, and that was a subject that I was never very good at, so I never really enjoyed it. But I love going to museums, so this is something that you should definitely do, whether it's in your city or a surrounding city, or maybe you have to travel a few minutes to an hour or so. Find a museum that piques your interest, or even if it doesn't necessarily pique your interest, especially if it's free, I would highly recommend just checking it out just to see like what they have, because you never know what's actually going to pique your interest, because you're an adult, you're still growing. No matter how old you are, you're still growing, you're still evolving, you're still learning. So it's always good to just be open-minded and come to stuff like this, especially when it's free and readily available within your vicinity, because I know we have plenty of museums in this state. I haven't even like touched the surface, scratched the surface of all the museums that we have available here. So I live in Hampton Roads. Again, this is the Portsmouth Colored Community Library Museum in Portsmouth, Virginia. Very accessible. There's a parking lot to park in, and it is free. And it's just nice to go see museums and learn something. And also you get a sense for like, you can start looking up people who are in the museum. And for me, I like music, so what's cool is that they have some musicians featured in there. So what I'm going to do is go back over my footage and start looking up some of these musicians that I haven't heard of. I've heard of Missy Elliott and Pharrell and stuff like that. Well, Pharrell's not in there because he's not from Portsmouth, but Missy Elliott and stuff like that. But there are several musicians that I'd never heard of, so I'm going to look them up and try to see if I like their music or not. So it's just really interesting. So that's just another option of something to do when you think there's nothing to do in the great state of VA, because there's always something to do in Virginia. You just got to use your noggin, and you have to be intentional about it. So I hope you guys are having a fantastic, beautiful day. It is yet another beautiful day here in VA, and this has been another episode of VA All the Way. I hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, Denny out.